What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. Today I'm here to talk about A Quiet Place. So in this movie, the trailers promised us, hey, silence is survival. There's some kind of weird alien creatures out lurking in the darkness, and the slightest bit of noise will trigger them. And the movie follows a family who is grieving the loss of a son not too long ago. Mom and a dad are trying to raise their two kids in this world and kind of teach them a little bit about how the world works, while they're also trying to make communication with other survivors and just kind of live, basically. And that's the premise to A Quiet Place. It's a simple premise. um, Here's the thing, and I know it's going to be an unpopular review, but I have to be honest. That's pretty much all I have in these reviews, is to at least be honest. I did not like A Quiet Place. I was so excited to see it because I love this concept of a movie to where, according to the trailers, this was supposed to be silence is survival, right? This movie has no silence in it. I can't remember ever more than like 10 or 15 seconds of silence, consecutively. It's not even really that quiet of a movie, to be honest with you. And here's what I didn't like about it, is that I hated that they were bringing a kid into this world. That made me immediately hate the parents. Like, I wanted them to die horribly for the fact that they were so selfish and narcissistic that they would bring a child into this horrible world that they lived in. But here's what I really didn't like about this movie. I can love a bad movie, okay? I don't need every movie to make sense. I don't need every movie to, be scientifically sound. But what I do want is for the movie to follow the rules that it sets up itself. So, like in The Matrix, who cares that Neo can do pretty much anything? They can literally do anything they want to because the script will, the script and the setting and the rules of the world allow them to do whatever they want to, okay? In A Quiet Place, we're built into this world that's supposed to be very serious, very deadly, and early on we learn that walking on a crinkly leaf is enough to notify these monsters. They will pinpoint your location and they will kill you, okay? That's what's set up. Silence is survival, right? Except that that's dropped about half an hour into the movie. Everybody starts to just do whatever, regardless of what noise it makes, and there's nothing, no consequences to it. If a small board in the floor creaking is enough for them to pinpoint your location, why wouldn't they be able to find a crying baby that was 5 feet away from them? Like, it's too much. Like, if this is a goofy B movie that's supposed to be funny and campy, that's okay. But in a serious horror movie, they make no attempt whatsoever for any of this to be consistent or make any sense. It's just complete nonsense. I found it to be insulting to my intelligence as a horror fan. But apparently people are eating it up, so I'm definitely in the minority there. Again, I wanted the parents to die. I hated them. I thought they were completely unlikable characters. The silent birth, the crazy ending that made no sense whatsoever. It was just dumb. Everything about this movie, everything in the world that they set up was dumb. Like, none of it makes any sense whatsoever. And again, I don't need a movie to make sense. Like, make a movie nonsense, but like embrace it and run with it and make it work for you. And instead, this movie wants to be super tense, super serious, and honestly even borderline pretentious, but it doesn't want to back that up by like playing by the rules. Anybody can make a movie like this if you don't have to play by the rules. What would have made A Quiet Place really cool is if it would have been silent. Like, if it would have been super quiet. If you made a noise, you died. That just doesn't happen. It was built up like that. That's what the movie promises, but it just doesn't happen. I didn't like this movie. I thought it was kind of boring for the most part. And I didn't really buy into the thrills and the tension because it didn't work for me, because nothing had any consequences. You made a noise here, and it wasn't like you wondered, will they hear it or not, because a little noise would set them off. It was like you knew they wouldn't hear it. You knew they weren't going to hear anything until the plot needed them to hear it, and to me that just disarmed all the tension and all the suspense. So I know a lot of people like it. I don't have any issue with if people like it. It's technically well made. I mean, the visuals look really nice. The sound design was okay. But I just didn't like the performances. I didn't like the characters, and I hated the fact that they just did not have any kind of consistent rules when it came to the sound. I didn't think it was anything masterful, and I know I'll get downvoted and people will hate this, but I just thought it was a shitty horror movie at the end of the day. And above all else, it just wasn't fun or scary, which is all I pretty much wanted here. So that's my review of A Quiet Place. I'm sure people won't like it, but like I said, I gotta be honest here, and sometimes that means disagreeing with the majority, and this is one of those cases. If you want to read my full write-up of A Quiet Place, where I talk about really how insulted I felt by this movie, you can check that out at markfusion.com. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, Letterboxd. You can see what I've been watching and what might pop up here. I did delay this review a little bit to avoid some of the zealotous fans that were kind of going after anybody who had even the slightest negative thing to say about this movie. So hopefully I've avoided all them because they've moved on to the next, martyr movie. But anyway, the best way you can help me out is just to hit that sub button. It's a free, easy, direct way to support me. Even if you don't agree with me on this movie, hopefully you at least agreed with some of my reasoning for why I didn't like it, or you could at least understand it. And watching the old video is also a good way. So even if you hated my opinion of this movie, maybe you'll like my opinion of some of the other ones. There's a lot of horror movies in the playlist here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. Like I said, if we disagree, hopefully you can at least understand, my viewpoint on it, why I feel the way that I do. I do appreciate you watching this, though. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon.